Hi everyone, my name is Kelly Cahoot and I'm so excited to be sharing my very first project for Honeybee Stamps. This project includes the newly released Curious Kitties stamp set. I'm going to give you a look at the whole stamp set here in just a second. As you can see there's lots of kitty cats to choose from along with lots and lots of accessories. So I decided I'm going to do a background for my card with all those cute little accessories that come in the set. I started out by stamping the little fish bowl there, and there's also fish that go into the fish bowl. There's a food dish, a ball of yarn, there's a toy mouse, a real live looking mouse, little toys that have feathers, there's bows, there's collars with bells and stars and hearts, there's little paw prints. This set, it just goes on and on with the things that you could add and do with these little kitties. I did some basic, very basic Copic coloring, and I'm doing it very lightly because I want the star of this card to be the little kitty cat and the sentiment that I add later. So I just chose some random colors and just doing a quick little coloring of all those little bits and pieces. The next thing I did was stamp the kitty. This is the largest kitty cat in this set, and I just love his little face. He has the cutest little smile. I inked him up with Memento Tuxedo Black ink, stamped him out, and flipped my paper to stamp him one more time just in case I messed up. I pulled out a W7, W5, W3, and W00 to color the little kitty cat. I wanted him to be a gray color, and I started out with adding my darkest parts first. I wanted to do that because I didn't want him to get too dark in the long run. So I added those little, with the tips of his ears, his little paws, and the tip of his tail, and I add some little dark spots to his face. And then I'm just going to work out with all those colors and blend and go over and over until I get the look that I'm wanting for the little cat. The main color of the little kitty cat is going to be the W3. And then at the very end, I take a colorless blender and I add some texture and some little spots into his fur. I take a black fine sharp point marker and add in some of the details that kind of get lost when you color, like into his paws and his little face. And I also used gel pens to add some little freckles and details onto his face. The next thing I did was get ready to do my sentiment. I cut out some vellum with a stitched rope die, and I'm going to pull the birthday word out of the Sending You stamp set. So I want the whole sentiment to say Meowie Birthday. So I borrowed that birthday. I'm going to get it set up in my Misty tool and ink that up with VersaFine ink. I'm just going to run my finger over that. And the next thing I'm going to do is dip that into some clear embossing powder and then heat set it. The next word, meow, comes from the Curious Kitty stamp set, and I got that set up in the Misty, and I'm going to ink it with VersaFine ink and again stamp that down and again dip it in the clear embossing powder and heat it up. Now I wanted my sentiment to say Meowie Birthday, so I borrowed the Y from the newly released Welcome Baby stamp set. There's a sentiment that says Special Delivery. So I took the word delivery, and the Y in that word matched the font in the meow. So I'm setting that up in the Misty, and I'm going to mask off everything but the Y. Sorry about my curly hair there. I'm going to ink that up again in the VersaFine ink, and then pull off that Post-it note where I've masked everything off, and then stamp it down onto the meow. Don't want to forget my anti-static powder. And then as you can see in just a second, it looks like it's always been that way. So again, I'm going to use some clear embossing powder, dip that in, and then heat set it. And when I use my heat tool on vellum, I like to make sure it's really good and hot and then really quickly just go over it so not to warp the vellum. I pop my little kitty cat up there with some foam tape. I'm going to add him to the center of that background panel, and I made a little ball of yarn out of some twine, and I connected the end of the twine behind that vellum panel, and I'm just getting the twine to go exactly where I want it with some glossy accents. I'm going to take that glossy accent and also make the fish bowls look real by adding that all across the center. I just kind of squirted out a big blob and then used that fine tip point to spread it all around. And it really does look like it's watery and glassy. After I finished this, I set it aside and let it dry, and then I popped the whole thing onto a purple card base to match that twine. Let me show you a close-up of that cute kitty and those cute little fish bowls and accessories. And here's one more look at that new Curious Kitty stamp set. All the supplies are going to be listed in the description box. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you will check out this new release from Honeybee Stamps. I will talk to you and see you guys next time. Bye-bye!